Today on Naked with Kozi, we're going to do some Shibori style napkins. So to start out, I got some cotton napkins from the store. They came in a pack of 4 and they're quite large, but they're also very wrinkly. So I just wanted to give you a side-by-side of the importance of getting the wrinkles out with ironing. And I'm not going to bore you with me ironing, that's stupid. But anyway, you got this piece right here, right? This is nice and ironed. For the most part, I'm not trying to do this 100% efficiently, right? I don't want it to be like a crisp, equilateral square or whatever. But here we go, see? But you see those corners? They got a little bit of, you can see the nicely ironed one. I used a wet rock for this one, a hot rock. This is just straight out of the package. So it's going to make it easier whenever we cut these into 4s. That way I can get, you know, some semi-equal squares, but I'm not going to go all A-bomb on it, you know what I mean? It's not like that mandatory. So this is my precision model sewing machine that I restored that I will use to get my napkins rolling. So it's ready to roll. The one side is already sewn from the manufacturer or whatever. All I want to do is just hem up the other sides so that I can get it ready for doing the dye-in. So I just want to throw some pins on my edge there just to make sure that it stays straight. In hindsight, I probably should have ironed it flat. That way I wouldn't be fighting it so much. But once I get my foot down, I'm putting my foot down, and then I'm going to start that corner, the first corner. And I want to start by doing my forward, and then just go back, do a back stitch, and then start going forward. That way I can just ride that line all the way through. All the way to that first corner, and then I'll just rotate it, start on the next one. But I never really was a sewer by trade. I never sewed as a kid. This is just something to get me out of my comfort zone and just try a new skill. Get a new skill set under my belt because I'm all about learning. And granted, this is the most modern machine, but the price is right, and for restoring it, it was a fun process. And I just took some video tutorials on how to wind the bobbin, and I eventually found a manual, a reproduction of the manual, and just started. I just figured I could just start going to town. You know, napkins are pretty simple. Just sew an edge 3 times, and then there you go. And then we'll dye it later. And I got a kid too, so she's probably going to be ripping stuff, and I can use that to my advantage later. And there we go. We're just going to trim off these little scraggly bits. Kaboom, baby. And there we go. Just like that. No more phrase. But there you go. There's a shot for you. And I think it's, you know, it looks good enough for me. I mean, they're just going to act as paper towels. And then we're just going to put them in the pile again, baby. Because, you know what I mean? Reuse, reuse, recycle, or whatever the hell. There we go. So I'm going to bust out all the rest of these. And then we're going to start getting to dyeing. We're going to start dyeing after this. In a good way. All right, so now that we have 16 of our pieces sewn up, I'm just going to fold them in half like a taco, and then I'm going to fold them again. And that's going to be the majority of what I'm doing. For this first one, I want to go triangle, and so I'm just going to do it not like a paper football. It's going to be like an accordion. So I'm just going back and forth, flipping it every time, just to make sure that I have a nice, consistent triangle, like you see right there, so that we don't have any floppy pieces coming around the sides or anything like that. And then after that, I'm just going to take my little cardboard pieces, and in hindsight, after this project was over, I shouldn't have even used cardboard. I should have used like pieces of plywood or something, because it would make it squishier. It would squish it better, is what I'm trying to say. And it would seize up those edges on the sides right there so that you can get it more consistent and less bleed, but we'll see that later on. So then I'm just going to tie this up with a rubber band for this go round. And going back to the plywood situation, if I had that, I wouldn't have even used rubber bands or string. I would have used clamps. but it's all part of the process. So the second part here is I'm going to go rectangle. So same kind of thing. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to fold it back and forth just like an accordion. And again, how tight you go or how loose is going to help determine what those edges are going to look like once you dye it. And then once we get to the end here, we just want to take our edging pieces and put them on there. And I am going to use my rubber band. And originally I was just going to go right through the middle from the width, but I changed my mind and I decided to go along the length. And I'm glad that I did that in hindsight. And there we go. There's our rectangle. For the next one, I'm going to start in our same starting position with the 2 tacos, but then I'm going to do a 3rd taco to make it even smaller. This one here, I'm going to use the little edge pieces of cardboard to do a square. And again, it's just going to be like an accordion, back and forth, flipping it every time in order to get the square all the way from edge to edge. And then I'm going to use the rubber bands and the cardboard to squish it together. Just like a little teeny tiny ice cream sandwich. So for this last one, I just want to try to get something different from our other patterns. So what I think I'm going to do is go a little bit funky with the accordion and then roll it up. Right? So I'm going to fold this from the center. Actually, that one's not really. Okay, is that the same thing? Yeah. Alright, so that's close enough. So then I'm going to take this side. And then I'm going to start doing my accordion. Just like this. Roll that one in, and then I'm going to take this, flip it, and do it on the other side. We're going to come down right there. And just zigzag it all the way. Boom. Alright, so now that I got that, now we want to start rolling it up. And I'll try to get it real tight. I'm going to go cigar on this one. Cuban cigar, right? None of that. We're not messing around anymore. You know what? I'm going to blip you up right here. Alright, so I don't want to get this one so tight to where it starts coming out, like flaring out because of the tightness. I just want it to be somewhat uniform. But, like I said, doesn't have to be super perfect. There we go. Right, we got that centered out, so now it's pretty well flat right here. I'm just gonna take a rubber band and break it. I'm gonna break them off real bad. And then I want this to be pretty consistent around the center here, just in case it starts bleeding through. But I don't know, we'll see. This is my first experiment with this. First timer. There we go. So, this one, right, this is the one that I just did. That's probably my best. And then that's the one I started out with. So I'm going to re-roll this one because this one looks like trash compared to these other ones. However, that might be alright. I'm just going to kind of, you know what, I'm just going to leave it. You know what, forget it. It's going to be like the wabi-sabi of the bunch. So there we go. Square, eclair, triangle, circle. We do this. Alright, so we're ready to roll. We've got a die in here. And I've got my fixative ready for this guy. But we're not at this point yet because we gotta let it soak for at least half an hour. What I do got on the thing, pre-soaked, they're a little drippy, but they're not dripping wet, right? So that's all good. So all I wanna do is I just wanna go in with the dye, click, 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 put it back on the pan. So I'm gonna get this set up right here. That way I'm getting my edges. I got the soakage, and then we can move on. So I want to get this relatively close so I'm not dripping stuff everywhere. Right? Shake it up. I've already added some detergent. This is hot water and some salt because it is cotton. So I'm adding the dye in there right there. We're gonna dye this pencil too. You remember those ones like from the 90s or whatever, whenever you sharpen them, they turn pink? Just like that. Except lame. All right, here we go. So I have all these cardboard pieces on here, right? This is specifically just to keep the blue areas on the edge and then the white areas on the inside, right? So all the stuff that's covered by the cardboard, at least for this one, like the triangle and the rectangle or whatever, this one is just going to be kind of a catch, right? Because this was the one that I did on the fly, and so we're going to see how it goes for this one. I'm still pretty excited about it though. I think it's going to have a lot of contrast, which is going to be nice. But we'll see. We'll see once we unravel the situation. All right. All right, we're going in with phase 2. So we've got the fixative right here. All right, so now we're just gonna go from left, I guess my left, your right. And I got the jug. All right, we got that rolling. That's all good. We got this guy. Let's see, if I'm doing the bucket, it says to add a crap load, so let's do that. There we go. That seems like the appropriate amount right there. And then, after we got that situated, we want to use the fixative on our 90s pencil as well. So, remember from earlier, we dyed it indigo, so we got to keep it rolling with the same until we sharpen it, and then it's ruined. All right, there we go. Super sophisticated. All right, so I've only got, I'm gloved up for it, right? So, here we go. We're just gonna stick it in the nice warm water. It's already bleeding a little bit, but it's not too bad. Actually, it's not as much as I thought it was going to. So that's kind of nice. All right, so then we're just gonna go through. We're gonna fix it up with the fixative on both ends. All the spots that we did, right? We want to make sure that it's fixed and happy. After this section right here, right, we're gonna let this go for, it says 20 minutes. And since we just did it on the pad, that's all I'm gonna do too. After the section is done, we're gonna run it under cold water until it stops running. And then it's time for the big reveal. All right. You're excited, I'm excited, we're all excited. We're gonna get to it here in a second, baby, just wait. Just you wait. So while I'm usually solo in my videos, I figured this was a fun way to get the kids and my wifey involved. It might still be wet. We just want to take off the rubber band, like this one. And then we gotta take off these little freaky pieces.
I don't know to take the bands off.
You don't know how? Oh, you just use your fingers.
Whoa, Clem, what do you think?
Oh, look at this one.
Look at that.
Look at this, Clem.
You want to just watch? You want to help Dada unfold them?
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's cool.
Okay.
All right, do one of each.
Okay, so that's the square one. And then let's do, here, you can do this. Actually, let's do the really blusted one.
Do it?
Yeah. Here, I'm just getting the rubber band for you. And then I'll take these off.
Oh.
Okay.
And then can you start to unfold it?
Yes.
Yay!
Oh, that was not very different from the square one.
That's okay.
That's all right, though. Yeah. That's all cool. Cool, thanks, babe. All right, let's do the triangle. Here, can you do the triangle one for me, please? And I'll take that. Let's see, this was the rectangle. Well, this was a squishy rectangle. Woo, that still looks pretty sweet, though. I like that. I got 4 different ones. 4
Okay.
different types.
Oh, there's the rectangle. Now I see it. Cool.
It's a triangle.
The rectangle.
That's what I meant.
This one's probably going to be all blue.
This
But this was the cigar that I accordioned.
a rectangle.
Ooh,
Oh, that's kinda
fun.
A
Yeah, I like that one.
rectangle.
What do you think about this one?
Yeah,
Papa?
I like that one.
Rectangle.
It's a triangle.
Triangle. Mama meant to say triangle.
Yeah, look at that.
Rectangle. No, it's a rectangle. Rectangle.
Well, it was folded like a rectangle, but look.
It was folded like a rectangle.
Ooh, that one looks cool.
Whoa, yeah, that one's really neat. Hopefully you like that reveal with my daughter. But these are fresh out of the wash, so I put them through one cycle, and this is the best one out of each bunch. This one started out with the rectangles, and even with the high bleeding on the left side, I thought it turned out pretty good. My favorite one is this one. This is the one that I did like with an accordion from corner to corner and then rolled it up like a cigar. And I love the contrast from the dark end to the light end. My least favorite in the realm of like if you had to choose your least favorite child would be the squares. And I only say that because it's just my opinion, you know what I mean? Even with the high bleeding right here on this corner. Boop. My second place is the triangles. And if I wanted more definition on the edges, it would be this one, but I still think it's really awesome. Hopefully this inspires you, and thanks for watching.